The emergency klaxons of the Zephyrian research station pierced through the howling winds as Commander Vexhal frantically coordinated the evacuation. Outside the reinforced viewports, the storm raged with a fury that would have made even the weather gods of ancient mythology tremble. Lightning carved jagged scars across the purple sky of Kepler 442b, while hail the size of small asteroids hammered against the station's hull. All personnel to emergency pods. Vexhal's mandibles clicked anxiously as she spoke into her communicator. This tempest will tear the station apart. The Zephyrians, tall and graceful with their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the emergency lighting, moved with practiced efficiency toward the evacuation bays. Their homeworld experienced weather patterns that were predictable and mild, gentle, rains that nourished their crystal gardens and warm breezes that sang through their hive cities. This planet's violent atmospheric tantrums were beyond their comprehension or tolerance. As the last escape pod sealed shut and launched into the storm, Vexahal caught sight of something impossible through the chaos. 3 small figures were strolling across the landing pad toward the station. They moved with casual confidence, seemingly unbothered by the hurricane-force winds that had sent her people fleeing in terror. The station's main airlock cycled open and 3 humans entered, shaking water from their strange, colorful outer coverings. The leader, a female with short brown hair plastered to her skull, pulled off a bright yellow garment and hung it on a nearby hook. "Whew, what a refreshing walk," she said, grinning widely. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, xenobiologist. This is Dr. Marcus Webb, our geologist, and Corporal Jake Morrison, our security specialist." Vexhal stared in bewilderment. These creatures, these humans, had just walked through a storm that registered Category 9 on the Galactic Weather Severity Index. They should be dead or at minimum traumatized beyond coherent speech. You came from outside?" Vexhal managed to ask. "In the storm?" "Storm?" Jake laughed, wringing out his soaked hat. "Ma'am, with respect, this is what we'd call good camping weather back home. Little windy, sure, but nothing a decent rain jacket can't handle." Dr. Webb nodded enthusiastically while examining readings on a handheld device. "The atmospheric pressure differential is fascinating. Reminds me of a thunderstorm I got caught in while hiking the Rockies. Though the hail here is more impressive, each stone contains trace minerals that suggest fascinating geological processes." Vexhal's 4 eyes widened in horror. "You were hiking in weather like this?" "Oh, this is nothing," Sarah chimed in. "You should see a proper typhoon or a Midwest tornado. Now those can get exciting. This is just a pleasant afternoon shower with some wind." The Zephyrian commander felt her legs grow weak. Her species had evolved on a world where the most severe weather event was a light drizzle that lasted more than 6 hours. They had built their civilization around climate control and weather prediction, ensuring that no Zephyrian ever had to endure atmospheric violence. But the hail!" Vexhal protested, gesturing toward the viewport where ice chunks continued to bombard the station. "Those projectiles could easily puncture an exoskeleton." Jake shrugged. "Wear a helmet. Problem solved. Though I admit some of those chunks are golf ball sized. Back in Texas, we'd call that a character building storm." "Character building?" Vexhal's translator seemed to struggle with the concept. "Means it's the kind of weather that separates the wheat from the chaff," Morrison explained helpfully. "Makes you tougher. Hell, my grandmother used to sit on her porch during tornado warnings, drinking sweet tea and watching the sky. Said it was better than television." Dr. Chen pulled out a tablet and began taking notes. "Commander Vexhal, we received your distress signal and came to offer assistance. Our ship is designed to operate in much more severe conditions than this. We were actually hoping to establish a research outpost here. The storm patterns would provide excellent data for our atmospheric studies. You want to stay here?" Vexhal's voice rose an octave. "During storm season?" "Especially during storm season," Webb said excitedly. "The electrical activity alone could power our research station for months, and the geological sampling opportunities during these weather events are incredible. On Earth, storm chasers pay good money for experiences like this." "Storm chasers?" "People who follow dangerous weather for fun," Jake explained matter-of-factly. Some do it for science, some for the adrenaline rush. I knew a guy who proposed to his girlfriend in the eye of a hurricane. Said it was the most romantic thing he could think of. Vexahall felt the need to sit down. Her entire worldview was crashing around her like the hail outside. These humans didn't just tolerate deadly weather. They actively sought it out. They found it enjoyable. On Earth, Sarah continued, children play outside in rain that would send your people running for shelter. We have sports that are specifically played in terrible weather. Ever heard of football? American football players consider playing in a blizzard to be ideal conditions. But surely your young are kept safe from such dangers? Vexhall asked, desperately. Kid, when I was 7, my dad took me camping in a thunderstorm because it was educational. Jake grinned. Best vacation I ever had. Taught me that weather is just weather, something to work with, not run from. As if summoned by their conversation, another massive lightning bolt struck nearby, illuminating the entire station in brilliant white light. The thunder that followed shook the ground beneath their feet. Vexhall flinched and covered her audio receptors. The humans, however, moved to the viewport to get a better view. Beautiful, Webb exclaimed. Look at the electromagnetic cascade. Sarah, are you getting readings on the atmospheric ionization? Already on it, she replied, holding up her scanner. This is incredible data. Commander, thank you for calling us. This storm system is exactly what we need for our research. Vexhall watched in stunned silence as the 3 humans set up their equipment with casual efficiency, completely unbothered by the continuing tempest outside. They worked with the focused calm of beings who had faced nature's fury countless times and emerged victorious. Commander, Sarah said, looking up from her instruments, if your people ever want to return to the station, we'd be happy to provide weather protection protocols. Though honestly, you're missing out. There's something invigorating about experiencing a planet's raw atmospheric power. As another thunderclap shook the station, Vexhall made a mental note to update the Galactic Council's files on humans. Under environmental tolerance, she would be changing the entry from standard to impossibly robust. Outside, the storm continued to rage. Inside, the humans had already begun making themselves at home, humming cheerfully as they worked. Vexhall shuddered and quietly began planning her people's permanent relocation to a more civilized world, one where the weather knew how to behave properly.